What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I am DL here with another movie review. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is going to be out in a few weeks, so we're going to go back and talk about the previous modern Planet of the Apes film, starting with Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I've already reviewed that film. If you guys haven't seen my review for that, check out my playlist. It's called Planet of the Apes. But we're going to continue on talk about the second installment of the modern Planet of the Apes films, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Let's get into it. So, if you guys have seen my review for Rise, I loved Rise. I thought it was absolutely great. Really helped to reinvigorate the franchise after, the sequels to the original Planet of the Apes was very hit or miss, and then the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes was very disappointing. But Rise of the Planet of the Apes, really brought it back to prominence. Us, looking at this as not only a reboot but a prequel, and seeing how the apes became intelligent and how they eventually, you know, made their own, made their own civilization separate from the humans, and the diseases that started to affect the humans as well. It was interesting to see all that in the first film. So I was definitely excited to see more from this franchise with how they set things up. So for this film and then for the next film, War, they got a new director, and he's a guy called Matt Reeves. You guys may or may not know him. He has directed Cloverfield, and of course now he is known for directing the Batman with Robert Pattinson. I think he is a really, really good director. I thought he did a really good job with Cloverfield at the time, so I was definitely excited to see what he would bring to a Planet of the Apes film. And I gotta say, just from the marketing alone, the marketing looked incredible for this. You could tell it was going for a completely different tone from the first film, but still keeping in line with what the first film established. Like, this is the dark middle chapter. Quite a bit of time has passed between Rise and Dawn, and just like the one shot that always sticks in my mind is there's the shot starting off with Caesar's eyes, and then it zooms out, and it reveals him in the forest with the other apes behind him with his hand up, waiting for a command in the forest, and it's raining. Like that slow, wide shot, and then he lowers his arm and commands the apes to charge, and then that was the shot. Like, that teaser trailer really stuck with me. Like, that was an amazing teaser in my opinion. And just when I seen the rest of the marketing with the full trailers and stuff like that, seeing that that the apes have created their own civilization in the forest away from the humans, and then the humans are like in this post-apocalyptic setting where most of the humans have died because of the disease that spread in Rise. All that was really, really interesting, and just like the humans trying to make peace with them, but the apes don't want peace. So all that I thought was very interesting. Just the story just evolving more and more. It's just very fascinating. So I would see this in the theater. So this is the first Planet of the Apes film I've ever saw in the theater. I was really excited to see this, and I got to tell you, this movie is incredible. I love this film. Um, Definitely, this feels like the Empire Strikes Back of this modern Rise of the Planet of the Apes franchise. Man, Matt Reeves did such a really good job taking what was established from Rise of the Planet of the Apes and just expanding on it. You know, raising the stakes, building the tension even more, improving on the CGI, the direction, and the cinematography. All of that was absolutely beautiful in this film. Just the shots alone, it just feels more cinematic. He has these wide sweeping shots, tracking shots, like getting a scope of the atmosphere and just the environment. Like it feels like it's actually lived in, like we're actually in this world. It's just so immersive. And once again, the motion capture for these apes, man, it looks incredible. I already thought it looked great in the first film, but it looks even better in this. Like you can't tell me that these aren't real apes. They feel so real. They look so real. They act so real. The texture of their fur, the little movements in their eyes, the skin, like all of that, and just the acting that the actors do. They really convinced me that these are real apes. Like this is amazing, absolutely incredible. Andy Serkis, once again, is amazing as Caesar. This is probably one of Andy Serkis's best performances, even though that's really hard to narrow down because all of his performances are great all the other films that he's been in. But this, I think, probably is his magnum opus. Like Caesar, like just him seeing him evolve as a character is so fascinating to watch. Like he's such a compelling character, he's not just an ape. Like he went through development, he went through hardships. Like we actually feel how he's feeling. He's able to convey his emotions to the audience in so many creative ways without even having to formally speak to the humans, even though he does learn to say a few more words than he did in the first film. But a lot of this is sign language. They use a lot more sign language in this movie between the apes, and I thought that was really really incredible. It's just seeing that stuff alone. You just seeing how much more smarter the apes were in this film. It's kind of creepy actually. It's chilling. That's more I would say. It's chilling. Just seeing like how intelligent they are. It's like it just makes you think. Like once again, it's like if a scenario like this happened in real life, would humans still be the dominant species on the planet? Because like apes are like the closest species to humans, and they're already intelligent as it is. And now seeing them getting to like human levels of intelligence, it's very chilling. It's very scary. It feels very tangible, even though yes, this is a science fiction film. Technically this stuff probably couldn't happen in real life, but they do it in a way where it feels real. Like it's just amazing. I'm so blown away by this. Like even like there's a couple of scenes that are just set chills down my spine. There's like this one scene where Caesar and the apes go to the human base to send a message to them about how apes don't want to fight. The apes don't want to fight them, but they will if they must. And it threatens them to stay out of their territory or else. Like Caesar just commanding the entire area. It's so chilling. Like I just remember he's like, apes don't want war, but we'll fight if we must. I just cinema, pure cinema. It's amazing. And it's also crazy to see other things that the apes do in this movie. For instance, they're hunting, like just seeing them hunt in the forest, like they're actual like natives and stuff like that. Like they have the face paint on them. Like these apes put on face paint to hunt, and they're all of them are charging against this bear. Like it's so crazy. It's insane. It's fantastic, but it's crazy to just see this. Like a bunch of apes hunting a bear like that. Like this is crazy. Apes on horses shooting guns. Like it's just I don't know what other way to describe it. It's so mesmerizing to see all this happening on the screen, you know. Um what I also liked is that we see that Caesar has gotten a family of his own. He has a wife. He has two kids now. One of them is already grown. His name is Blue Eyes. And even like the other apes, and he has a newborn baby in the movie. But even I like seeing that his family got a little bit of development as well, especially Blue Eyes, because like he's not as you know he's not as tough as his father, and it's like um he feels like he's not gonna be able to live up to his father's legacy or whatever. So even he goes through that as well, and like he's conflicted with trusting the humans because he wasn't around when Caesar saw the good in the humans. So that's actually a conflict throughout the rest of the apes, especially Koba, who is the main villain of the movie, um, played by Toby Kebbell, which that surprised me as well. But what I really liked about this movie is that the moral gray area is everywhere in this movie, because there's the main conflict of this is that you know the humans are trying to get their resources back to survive, like they're trying to get the electricity back into their base, and the only way to do that is by going into the apes territory. And it's like neither side really wants to cause conflict, but you can tell that both sides don't trust each other, and for valid reasons, you know, because with the humans, they're afraid of the apes, you know. They see them as like these savages, and a lot of them blame the apes for what has happened to the world, and the deaths of so many humans, like where they're becoming an endangered species now. And like they don't know the intricacies of what happened, about how that happened, with the humans creating this serum for Alzheimer's that turned into a really really bad thing. So a lot of them are in fear of the apes, and like I wouldn't blame them, because the apes are very scary. They're very intimidating in this movie. So it's like, for face value, you wouldn't really trust them as well. And it's like they're not going against the apes because they want to. They're doing it because it's a means of survival to them. They're doing what they can to survive. There's no good or bad in this movie. And like even with the apes, like why would they trust the humans? Because it all started with them. You know, it's like a lot of the apes started out as experiments, just like Caesar, and they're the cause of what has been going on in the world now. And it's like they see the apes see them as filthy savages that kills everything. So it's like even though the humans are going to them for help, why would the apes trust them? You know, Especially with Koba, because like he was in the first movie, and we seen him get experimented on a lot in the first film, where he's been through a lot of torture and pain. And so it's like, even though he goes about his methods really really bad, really really wrong in this movie, you kind of understand why he thinks that way, because all he's known for most of his life is pain and struggle. And the last thing he wants to do is go back to the people that caused the pain from from when he was experimented on. So all of this stuff it's just very interesting to see, like seeing both sides and seeing their perspectives on things. Thought that was very very interesting. Um, to talk a little bit more about Koba specifically, because I guess technically he is the main villain of the movie. Like he's the one that's trying to influence the other apes um, to attack the humans, and take over their resources and kill them. And he wants the apes to take over because he feels like the apes are the dominant species on the planet now. But then Caesar, even though he doesn't like the humans, he wants to make peace with them. And like I just think all that's interesting. Just the struggle of power between the apes. It's very fascinating. The human characters I thought were really good too. Jason Clarke as Malcolm. I really really liked him. He reminded me of that. He kind of reminded me of the dynamic that James Franco had with Caesar in the first movie. He reminded me a lot of that, but he was still his own character. But like, meaning that he's the voice of reason for the humans. He actually tries to, make peace with the apes when the other humans want to just attack them and get the resources and leave. But he wants to go about things, diplomatic. And I thought that was good because, like, just to show that not all humans are evil, not all humans have bad intentions, and they actually do want to help. So I thought he was very, very good, along with Carrie Russell as Ellie. I thought she was very good. She helps, the apes. A couple of the apes are sick in the movie, and she has medicine, is able to treat them. So it's good seeing the good part of humanity. Even with Gary Oldman going back to, like, he's the main commander of the human base, whatever. And it's like he's very strict about how to approach the situation with the apes. Like, he's very apprehensive about trusting them. And it's like, once again, he's not doing it because he's evil, but he's doing it because, like, just to keep his race safe and alive. Like, he believes in doing whatever needs to be done, to keep them alive. And it's like, even you see a glimpse of, like, he's lost, family members as well through this apocalyptic landscape with the apes and the disease. That one shot where when they get the electricity back on in their base, and he sees a picture of his two kids that he lost. Like, that's heartbreaking, you know. So it's just, all that was just, this is such a well written film. I just love it. Um, but and of course the action in this film is great. The final battle between the apes and the humans, I thought, was very, very good. It was really gripping. It was intense. The way they went about it with Koba's manipulation was just, yeah, man, it just made me angry, but in the best way possible, because it's just all of that, just how Koba's plan was crafted in this, like, earlier on in the movie, tricking the other humans to thinking that he's a dumb ape, and then taking their guns and killing a couple of them. That scene was great. Like, it was just so many cool scenes like that. And then the final battle between Caesar and Koba, I thought, was really, really good. Um, just once again, the struggle of power between the apes, and whether the apes can coexist with humans, or wanting to wipe out the rest of the humans or take control. So that's all that stuff I thought was really exciting. It was very gripping. But yeah, it's just overall, this film is a fantastic movie. Um, of course, you do have a couple of humans here and there that, like, that does doing stupid stuff for the sake of, just because I don't trust the apes, they shouldn't be trusted. Like, I've had my guard up the whole time. Like, there's this one character named Carver who just got on my freaking nerves and was just ruining it for the humans when they're trying their best to make peace with them, and then he comes in and just ruins it. Man, he was just so annoying. They should have just left him at the base. Like, this whole situation could have went through a lot smoother if he wasn't there. you know but yeah, overall, I think this movie is great. I do think this is better than the first film. It expands on what the first film has laid out as far as themes, and just the eventually turning into that post-apocalyptic setting, and seeing the apes evolve even more, becoming more intelligent, and making their own clan civilization, having making their own families and stuff like that. Thought that was cool. The moral gray area between the humans and the apes, figuring out whether they can be at peace with each other, or will they have war between each other. Like, that, all that stuff, I thought was excellently done in this film. Andy Serkis as Caesar, once again, just fantastic. Like, amazing character. This ape, like, I care about this CGI ape, and on a lot of the other CGI apes as well. Like Maurice, I love Maurice in here. I thought Maurice was a good companion to Caesar. Like, he kind of was like his side, his number one guy, whatever. So like I thought he had some really good moments. There were some scenes where he was actually reading a book with the human, which I thought that was actually a compelling scene. Seeing that apes and humans can make peace and like connect on a certain level. So that type of stuff I thought was really good. But yeah, there's so many just great things about this movie. I barely have any issues with this movie, to be honest. So you know what? I'm gonna give Dawn of the Planet of the Apes an A plus. Absolutely incredible. Matt Reeves did an amazing job with this film. And I was so excited to see what he would do with the third film because he comes back to direct War for the Planet of the Apes. But those are my thoughts on Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. What did you guys think about it? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate? Did you guys think it was okay? How does it compare to the other Planet of the Apes films? Comment your thoughts down below and let me know. So the next film I will be talking about is War for the Planet of the Apes. So tune in for that when it comes out. But if you guys enjoyed this review, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit the bell if you want to be notified on future videos I'll be doing. But that's all I have for you Planet of the Apes fans, and I'll see you guys next time. Talk to you guys later. Apes. Family. Future.